salt. Whether it's the salt-based chef and his iconic method for salting steak, or the salty instructions on the bear.
All right, chef, I need you to salt that like a sidewalk.
Chefs on our screen and in real life are bringing salt to our plate and lighting up our taste buds.
In my opinion, you cannot cook without salt. It pulls out the flavor, the water, and you taste things very vividly differently than without salt. It really adds so much to the flavor and depth of food.
It's an essential part of a healthy diet and a crucial part of cooking, but too much can be bad for your health.
We require sodium as part of the minerals that are essential for human health. We just don't need very much of it, and we eat a lot more than we need.
The American Heart Association recommends no more than 2,300 milligrams of salt a day, which is equal to less than 1 teaspoon of table salt, and suggests ideally less than 1,500 milligrams a day for most adults. One of the biggest culprits of additional sodium, eating out.
We live in an era of intense distraction. Chefs are very conscious of this, and they're trying to get your attention on the plate. And the easiest way to get your attention is by putting a lot of salt on.
We looked at your average cheeseburger across 5 different family restaurant chains, and that one burger ranged from half to nearly double your recommended daily salt intake.
The place where salt consumption runs rampant is in the restaurants of America, and specifically, in my case, New York City.
New York Magazine selected iconic dishes across New York City restaurants and sent them to a lab to find out the sodium content. They say it found that a diner eating out is likely ingesting their entire daily sodium intake in one meal, and in some cases, just one course. Even dessert can pack in the salt. It found nearly half a day's recommended sodium in a single slice of devil's food cake at one restaurant. The FDA says there's been progress over the past decade to reduce sodium in Americans' diets, but eating out will still bring a lot of salt.
I wouldn't recommend not going to restaurants. Restaurants are wonderful, but try and educate yourself on sort of what's salty, what's not salty.
And you can educate yourself because some restaurants do offer nutritional information, including sodium, on their websites, but it's still complicated. And joining us now to break it all down is dietitian and nutritionist Maya Feller. It is great to see you, Maya.
Good morning. So good to see you.
We were just talking about the fact that on social media, people throw salt on things, they finish it off, and there are these amounts, but it's hard to just eyeball the amounts. Usually, we're not measuring everything when we're consuming salt.
We are far from measuring anything when we're consuming salt, and when we're thinking about those amounts, it is actually shocking. So the recommendation is 2,300 milligrams per day, and this is the recommendation, right?
That's your total amount of salt per day.
That's the total. I mean, look at that tiny hump.
Yeah.
It's like almost nothing. Here's the thing. For someone that has diabetes or hypertension, we go down to 1,500 milligrams per day, even less. But the average American is actually consuming 3,500 milligrams or more, which is this. And to the point of like, okay, you've got this meal, take a look at this. Your chicken breast, that could be 600 milligrams. The Brussels sprouts could be another 400. The roll could be 200. The soup could be another 600. And by the time you've had that meal, you have exhausted that 3,500 milligrams. And the other thing is all those sneaky kind of places where we find sodium. You've got dressings, mustard, jarred pasta sauce. It's really hard to parse out where and when your salt is actually coming onto your plate.
Yeah, and I was blown away by the fact in the piece, even in dessert, you see it showing up.
Yeah, we're so accustomed to the flavor of salt that we don't even know that we're consuming it.
So Michael's got the solution.
Oh, yes.
Well, I hope we do. So Maya's going to tell us, what are some ways that you can cut back on sodium no matter where you eat?
Yeah, so here's the thing. I want folks to understand, especially with packaged goods, that there are some cut points, as we say, around how to identify the salt coming into your pattern of eating. So for example, if something says that it's salt-free, that means that there's less than 5 milligrams per serving. Low salt is 140 milligrams or less, and reduced sodium means that at least 25% less in comparison to something that has the full amount of salt. No salt or unsalted simply means that there's no added salt, but it doesn't mean that it's sodium free. This is where, if you're cooking at home, lean into flavor. You've got citrus, right?
Yeah.
That can give you that bright acidic flavor so that you're not missing the salt as much. You've got herbs and spices. That's another way. We're so accustomed to salt that it really tastes bland when we take it out.
Yeah.
So we got to boost that flavor.
All right, sometimes you just got to have a little less flavor, though. Health first, flavor second. Keisha's looking at me like, not in my cooking. I need some flavor.
No, absolutely.
What you guys?
And as you get older, it's going to have less flavor. Because the kicker won't take it.